Hey guys, Daniel here from Team Kuribrohs. We are at the Waterford Comics Regional and we have first place winner. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Colm Carew. I played the good stuff Tenyi Swordsoul deck. Came first place. There was 5 rounds and didn't lose any of them. That was great. Went to game 3 on most of them. But yeah, my list is kind of okay. Probably needs some better optimizations, but it did well today and I can't complain.
Cool. Well, we'll hop into the list and we'll go through real quick, and then if you have anything to add, we can kind of look at it after that.
Yeah, perfect. So I'll start off with the Swordsoul engine. So I played 4 Swordsoul cards. So some people I've seen have cut long one, or they've cut the trap, or both, to try and like streamline the deck a bit more, or they don't run Moye. So I would definitely not cut this card. It came up so much in time where I needed to burn someone for 1200, and being able to burn for 1200 with this guy, and then 1200 twice again with this, was just so relevant and just in time. When you've burnt your opponent for 3600, are they really going to make Varte pay 2k and then try and OTK you if they can't? So yeah, I definitely wouldn't change the 4. I would definitely always run them, and Blackout is just such a good card. There was a matchup where I'd use my Baron negate, so I shuffled Baron back to the X to revive Yazi, and then I popped Yazi with the Blackout, and then Yazi summons from deck on opponent's turn. So like, you know, it can be a pseudo extender if you play it right on your opponent's turn. So definitely play these 4 Swordsoul cards, and when you just hard open a Tenyi, sometimes it's better to just use Moyi for the draw.
Yeah.
So then we have the Rose engine. So nothing to explain here. 3 of these, 1-1. So in my second last match, I actually opened this guy, the Shuna, and the Spell. And one of my lines got interrupted or ashed, but since I had opened this, it didn't matter. I was still able to go into the needle fiber combo. So that was kind of disgusting. So again, a lot of this deck has been solved, I would say. So move on. So onto the Tenyi engine. So I just run. So being a tuner is amazing. Opening this plus Red Rose, I didn't lose a single game where I opened that. Even if they hand trapped me, I just had so much gas. And Vishuda came up when I got nib, just to bounce back their nib, and I kept the big token. And sure, then they weren't able to go for game, and I got to keep the big token. And it's very scary because it keeps your Tenyis live and is massive. So that's very important. I have seen this being cut for other extenders, but I just wouldn't do it. The recyclability of it, the card is just really good. So yeah. Also really good for baiting Ash. Performed all day long. I opened 2 of it and I was still happy to see 2 of it. Very good package. I don't run Chitana. Chitana is really good if you want to do the shooting riser line, but ultimately you don't need to do that, and I felt in comparison to other cards it just wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
So the hand trap lineup is probably where my build differs a little bit. So I only run 9 main deck hand traps. So you have to run at least 2 Ogre this format, I feel. Everyone's playing Brave, and if they're not playing Brave, Ogre will hit something. But yeah, being able to hit either the Griffin Rider or the Fateful Adventure, very important. Ash is Ash, so it's always okay. It's never a bad hand trap. Being level 3 tuners is insane. It's just so good with the deck. Like, even a hand like this does something. So yeah, the Gamma is where things are different. Some people opt to run Veilers and or Bells, and the reason I went with Gamma was I'm going to get shifted by someone play Fluanderies or something, and Shifter really hurts. So this deck doesn't really hard lose to anything like Lancier or Droll. You can always kind of play around those, which is good. But Shifter kind of hurts a lot. You'll often just pass turn. So I played someone playing Mutant today, and they shifted me twice, and the second time they shifted me, I Gammaed. And what's insane about that is then sure Gamma is your combo, because you can make Hulk into your desk bot, make the ship, and then you just go off, make Yazi pop, summon out your Synchro 8, and there you go.
Yep.
So yeah, drew driver once today, so that is a bit lucky. The total list is 43, which is probably too many cards, but I was happy with it. So yeah, 9 hand traps, and I didn't break on drawing too many hand traps today, which was great. So onto some spells and extenders. Foolish Burial is part. So these are just the extenders. 3 Telly, great card. 3 is insane. Shouldn't be a 3. I think this was a fair trade for Desires, personally. And then we have the Brave engine, of course. So you're running 7 copies of the spell card. And important thing to remember, I was in Limerick Region last week and I forgot this, is she can add from deck or graveyard. So if you've ran out of copies in deck, it's fine, just banish, add back from grave.
Yeah.
Or if you're under Droll, which is why I misplayed last week, if you're under Droll, you can banish it, add it back from grave, and you're playing around Droll, which is a phenomenal play. And sometimes Foolish Burial comes up. If you have her already, you can just send a Shuna and be like, what you got? So it's pretty good. Griffin being an extender, I often just summon. What a really cool play you can do is like, you activate Vishura to summon, and then you chain this guy. So you have 2 bodies on board, and then if you have like a level 3 tuner plus extender, you can just keep going. You can make your Baron negate and go into your Halki Fibrax line, so that's all really good. And the last 2 cards of the deck are just bricks. So I was at a locals the other day and it came up where I was under goes and match with Shija, who was light. I top decked this for turn, summoned it and attacked the game. So that was really funny. But other than that, could possibly cut this or side this and get it down to 42. But a lot of cards I see is very heavily necessary. So yeah, that is the main deck. Again, 43 cards. Probably could do better, but it's fine. I'll go into the extra deck now. So Link Monsters, we play 2 Monk and plain and double Halki Fibrax. So shout out to my friend Stephen Dempsey for lending me this. It came up a lot, the second Halki Fibrax, so that's fair enough. The second Monk never really came up. In testing it comes up where you have to like summon a Shuna, summon this, a Shuna, summon Vishuda, link into this, you have 2 links, and then you Vishuda bounce something. But in general, you could possibly cut this, but I don't know, I probably wouldn't. Because Tenyis by themselves are just strong at breaking boards.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, fairly standard lineup. So onto the Synchro 7s, or I suppose we'll do the lower Synchro first. So Formula Synchron, the theory on your opponent's turn is during an open game state, you banish this, you draw a card, and then you sync into like one of the bigger Synchro 10s. But there's a cool combo you can do if you already have this guy on field. If you summon out this guy plus Shishou, and 2 of these guys make Chen Ying, you get another draw off this guy, and yeah, serious combo. And then we also play Arclight. I summoned it once, it got attacked over. I probably should have played better, but it didn't matter in the end. Cool, so on to the 7s. We run Yazi and Shooting Riser. I heard someone once say they wanted to run 2 Yazi, and I nearly agree with that, because earlier it came up where had I been able to summon a second Yazi, I'd have been able to use it really well. But yeah, Shooting Riser was fine, summoned it once. The fact it's a quick tuner is great, and its main purpose is to obviously either send Token Collector, which is in the side, or to send Fairy Tale Snow. So again, very good card, came up once, and when it came up it was relevant. And then onto the 8s, we are on 3 8s. So Baxia, Shishou, and Draco. Never summoned Draco, but he's your pseudo Boral Sword. So very good for putting out game. Summon this guy anytime I could, just the ability to add the trap card. Having follow-up plus being able to pop 2, especially if you can summon the this guy and you black out him, so he becomes an interruption as well as a pop 2.
Yeah.
Just very, very important. And then the other 2 10s were Baron de Fleur and the other Long Yon. This guy came up in time a lot, so I hard drew Long One 3 times today, and I got nabbed and interrupted and everything. So I would like to shoot a back their nab and then summon this guy, burn for 12, and then on their turn they'd activate a spell like Fatal Adventure. They go to activate the effect, you banish it, burn for 12, and then they special summon, say, like the Vishuda, you banish that, burn for 12. And like in time scenarios, the burn for 3600 is just sick. Just really goes for it. Cool, so move up to the side deck now. And so the deck goes very hard first regardless, but I kind of got worried by some things. So I sided 2 anti-spell in case I wanted to go first very, very hard. So the reason for 2 is I couldn't fit 3 and I wanted to. Probably me being indecisive. A lot of my friends said this should be 2 hand traps. I kind of agree with them, but like when you go first and you go into anything, like even the the Lunalite deck, like they can't do their Chick Tiger combo when this is up, and their Perfume's usually dead as well. So it's pretty effective.
Adventure as well.
Adventure and DPE, Stopping Fusion Destiny. Like, card is pretty good if you can fit it, but I could see why you would cut it for hand traps, and I don't understand.
Yeah.
So we ran some back row hate. This was Cosmic. I swept it out last minute for Twin because at the Limerick Regionals, Twin was way more impactful against Prank Kids than Cosmic was, just to be able to stop their... So we set Pandemonium as well as the add back continuous spell. So in the end phase, I popped both, and then you just couldn't recover from that.
Yeah.
So that was great. Funnily enough, none of these came up today because I didn't play any back row decks. One token collector, you send it off Shooting Riser. Every time I sided it in, I drew it. Every time I summoned it, I still lost. So it's whatever. Probably wouldn't play it in the future. It's kind of fine. So the weird ratios, I ran 3 Lancia, 2 Droll, 2 Nib. So this is where you take out those and put in the other 2 hand traps if you were that way inclined. Lancia is a mandatory side. So if you're playing PK, Lancia super hurts. It'll just stop them for a turn. Usually, even if they can make DPE, you're like, yeah, whatever. You can usually handle 1 or 2 interruptions. But yeah, handling Scythe can be tough. Then you're just relying on Brave Engine. So yeah, I don't know if I'd cut the anti-spell or make any big changes. Maybe cut this out and run another one of these. Every time I nibbed someone, I still lost. So I'd probably opt to run Droll over Nib.
Yeah.
Because Nib is a bad hand trap this format in that you do need another hand trap to make it viable. And came up today where someone Veilered me and nibbed me, but I let them Veiler me. I didn't negate it with Baron, and then their nib was useless. So kind of an okay card. So going through my matchups, I played Invoke Shadal. That was a 2-0. I played Mutant, which was a 2-1. That's the person who shifted me, and I was like, had I calculated a bit better, I could have gone for game. And then my other matchups were against. So it was a mirror match in the finals. It was the Lunalite deck before that. And then, my third round was against Phantom Knights. And I played Phantom Knights last week. And I was like, Phantom Knights is a bad deck. So it's a 4-card combo. So, shout outs to Waterford Comics for running this. It's my original local. So I'm very happy to be here and to have won it. So,
Well, lovely to finally interview you in person. Congratulations. And I'm sure we'll see more of you at events soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Brilliant. Thanks very much.